Start off your Sunday with two of the best in the Eastern Conference as Crown Legacy hosts New England Revolution 2 here on match day 27 at the Sportsplex at Matthews in Matthews, North Carolina. Happy to have you with us this afternoon on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa. As I mentioned, battle of the best here. It's first place Crown Legacy. It's second place New England Revolution. Both already clinched in the playoffs, and both are locked in. Crown Legacy is going to be the 1 seed. New England is going to be the 2 seed here in the East. So nothing can really happen in the standings. But these are two teams who know they very well may square off again in the final game of the playoffs in the East, trying to get to that final. And you want to stake your claim to that best team right now. Prove yourself, assert yourself against this other top competition. And it's a wet one here today in Matthews. Rain has been pouring all morning long. Hopefully, if you're to believe the radar, it's supposed to subside once the game gets going. But it's nothing they're not used to. It has been pouring again for hours here at Matthews as the players are set to take the field. They did a very wet rendition of their warm-ups today. But they're hoping to stay hot because Crown Legacy has not lost in regulation since August 9th. New England has not lost in regulation since June 18th. Crown Legacy will try to hand them that first loss in quite a while with this starting lineup. Yuri Tavares leads the charge up top. 11 goals, 3 assists on the season. The leading scorer here for Crown Legacy. Nevasha Berchimas gets another start here, his third of the year. The 15-year-old who became the second player to complete the pathway from academy to homegrown in the Charlotte FC organization will turn some heads up and down that left side. And meanwhile, for Abakara in charge now of New England Revolution 2, a very strong starting 11. While they have nothing to play for in terms of the Eastern Conference standings, a win could solidify the third overall seed, which could come into play in terms of who maybe hosts the MLS Next Pro Final. I'll walk you through that as the day goes along. But everything funnels through Jordan Adebayo-Smith. A dozen goals in 24 starts atop the line for the Revs. And continuing to fall here. As I mentioned, once we get later into this first half, it's supposed to subside. We'll see what Mother Nature has in store, and we'll see what we have in store as we're about to get the ball rolling. New England right to left in the blue. Crown Legacy left to right in the white. Referee today, Eligio Araguin in the yellow. The battle of the Eastern Conference's best. First place, Crown Legacy, already locked into that 1 seed. Second place, New England, already locked into that 2 seed. It's the final game of the regular season for New England. They're off next week. Second to last for Crown Legacy. And we're underway here in Matthews. Happy to have you with us on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa. Should be a good one today between two of the best in the East all season long. They have been neck and neck atop the standings. So these teams are not playing for anything in the East. It's more for the big picture here. When you get to that MLS Next Pro final, whoever's the team with the highest point total, that's the team who hosts. These are two teams who have aspirations of playing in that final. And right now, Crown Legacy is 3 points back of Colorado, who have 63 points in the West for the overall lead. But this is the game in hand here that Crown Legacy is playing. So a win for Crown Legacy, and they would be level, 63 points through 27 games with Colorado in the West for the #1 overall seed, as Pareba's ball is delivered and headed away by Souza. Recovered by Cambridge. Still, Brendan Cambridge goes down by a little bit of contact there, not enough to elicit the penalty. And a win for New England, currently sitting on 56 points coming into the day. Would move them further clear of Tacoma, who was the current 2 seed in the West on 55 points. A win here for New England would move them to 59 and clinch the 3rd overall seed between the East and the West. Tacoma would not be able to catch them. So if you're New England and you win this game, you go into the playoffs knowing that if you make a run in the final, the only team you would have to play on the road in that final is Colorado. And there's some nice peace of mind for the Revs. So nothing to play for in the East, but everything to play for both of these teams in the overall standings as far as it pertains to hosting come the final. And both of these teams certainly hope to be there, and have certainly shown all year long that they may make it. Here's Colby Quinones. Weather's clearly going to be a factor in this first half, where you see a couple of players slipping, struggling to get their footing. And it has been pouring buckets for the better part of 2-3 hours here. Thiago Suarez back for Victor Souza. He's been an anchor on this back line. Souza, 22nd start now of the season. Was the 39th overall pick in the draft out of Boston College this year. And the foul goes against Philip Mayaka. After a loss on August 9th against Atlanta, 3-1 on the road, Crown Legacy has rattled off 3 wins in regulation and 2 wins in the shootout. This is Josh Bowman out, and he earns a corner. On the flip side, New England, ever since their loss in regulation back on June 18th, they have picked up at least 1 point in every game. A 12-match point streak for New England. Four shootout wins, 2 shootout losses, and 6 regulation wins in that span. Now from the corner, it's headed away by Neely before it gets through to Kaye. These teams last met on July 12th, a 3-1 win for New England at home. Marcos Diaz, Jordan Adebayo-Smith Peyton Miller, all with goals in that one, all starting today again for New England. Goes all the way back to the young goalkeeper, Max Weinstein. Pierre Caillet, a mainstay for a couple of years now in this organization, from USL League One through to MLS Next Pro. Nice move by Jack Panayiotou. A return on Jacob Williams, but lost it in the end. It's Cambridge. 2 goals in MLS this year. Cambridge cutting and shooting off the chest of Caillet. Comes back out to Brandon Cambridge looking for an alley. And taken away by Marcos Diaz. Cambridge has been such a bright spot this season, whether in Next Pro or with the first team. Again, 9 appearances, 2 goals in MLS, 7 starts, 2 goals, 4 assists in MLS Next Pro. Averaging nearly 1 goal contribution per game in MLS Next Pro. For Weinstein. Track record of goalkeepers coming through this New England system just keeps improving. From Matt Turner to Georgi Petrovic. And now all eyes are on the next young one, and that's Weinstein, the 19-year-old. Only his 6th start here in MLS Next Pro. Joshua Bolma on the run. Adebayo Smith making the darting run into the box. Bolma with it, carrying, cutting, Bolma shooting, but he curled it wide. So dangerous when he gets out in transition like this. Bolma, out of the University of Maryland, the number 4 overall pick in this most recent MLS draft. Was 2-time first team All-Big Ten, 6 goals, 12 assists in his 36 starts at Maryland. Switch out to Barshimaz. Pasha Barshimaz, again, one to watch. He's just starting out in his career here in MLS Next Pro. Only his 7th appearance and his 3rd start. 2nd player to complete the pathway in this Charlotte organization, from academy to a homegrown. Now cutting his teeth here in Next Pro. 60th youngest signing in MLS history. He's earned 6 call-ups now for the U.S. Youth National Team at the U15, U16 level. Could be on the radar for the U17 CONCACAF Championship and World Cup coming up in the next year. Quinones. Quinones slides it through. A nifty move from Marcos Diaz. Back with it on the other side. Better defending by Joao Pedro. You can see the quality through not even 10 minutes from both of these sides. Why it's Crown Legacy 1, New England 2 in the East. And why I think a lot of fans in attendance today are tuning in. They're going to be hoping that this is the Eastern Conference Final. Look out here. Adebayo Smith pressuring Jack Neely. Unless you're a fan of one of the other teams in the Eastern Conference, if you're neutral, this might be the one you're hoping for. The 2nd weekend of October. for Odunze, the goalkeeper. Only his third start. Chituru Odunze. Suarez. All the way back through for Kaye. Calmly along for Souza. Kaniotu cut off by Scardina. Poreba, too much on it for Cambridge. And Cambridge commits the foul. Yesterday it was Crown Legacy's first team, Charlotte FC, taking on DC United at home, a 0-0 draw. Meanwhile, New England's first team on the road against Colorado Rapids fell 2-1. Run into space from Nikola Petkovic, has some options, pushing ahead. Erchimas was lurking. Petkovic has slowly become one of the bright spots in this midfield for Charlotte. Whether with the first team starting to get some sniffs around that first team or here with Crown Legacy. He got his first sniff at Serbia's first team back in January. Debuted in a friendly against the U.S. men's national team. Capped at the U19, U21 levels as well, Nikola Petkovic. It's just his 9th start in Next Pro, got a late start to the season. But in those previous 8 starts, 2 goals, 4 assists. Quinones knocks it down for Kaye. Weinstein, an awkward one, but Quinones will handle. Weinstein nowhere to really go here. And he just slices that out of play. Not what he had in mind. Marcos Diaz. Flicked along by Bolma. Out by Panayutu. Miller from a distance. Odunze, no trouble. So much young talent all around the field. It's understandable why so many fans of the U.S. men's national team are excited about the future of the program and the near term and what the youth teams can do at the U17, U20 World Cups in the coming years. Peyton Miller became the youngest debutant for Revs 2 back in March. 15-year-old at the time, signed his homegrown deal. He's on the MLS Next Pro roster through this season, Peyton Miller. And then next year he'll be elevated to the first team. And then you've got the 15-year-old Erchimas. They're playing on the same side, matched up with each other here. Combined 30 years of age on that far side between Miller and Erchimas. Both already capped various youth levels for the U.S. Miller just returned from U17 duty. Quinones for Bolma. Olma stumbled over the ball and then lost his footing on the wet surface at the end of it. Gives Scardina a chance to come away with it. Mayaka, Cambridge overlap coming from Scardina. Cambridge feeds Scardina, looking for an option, cutting it back. Pierre Kaye able to work it clear. Quarter of an hour gone here in Matthews. Rain continues to pour down as it has been for the last couple of hours. And we're still scoreless between Crown Legacy and New England Revolution 2. Joe Malfa with you for the action on MLSNextPro.com. First place Crown Legacy in the East. Second place New England in the East. Both locked into those two spots in the Eastern Conference. A win for Crown Legacy would draw them level with Colorado for the overall 1 seed, which could matter as far as who possibly hosts the title game if those teams make it. And similarly, New England with a win would clinch the number 3 overall seed, meaning they would only not host the final if it's against Colorado. So it's a longer term goal that both of these teams are playing toward today. In the near term, you're asserting yourself against your most direct competition within the conference to win the title. 2 teams all year long. A chance to speak with Pierre Kaye, center back for New England ahead of this one. On the ball now, and Kaye really just said that's all this game is about. We know we might see Crown Legacy again in a few weeks. We want to put our best foot forward. We already beat them 3-1. And just to have that psychological advantage over them perhaps with 2 wins if you meet again in the playoffs. Nice feather in the cap. Smith wins it back and gives it back. Kaye also went on to note that they want to have a strong showing today, New England, because they're off next week. They're not going to be the number 1 seed. They're not going to have that first round bye in the playoffs that Crown Legacy will. But for all intents and purposes, they almost are a 1 seed in terms of how the schedule stacks up, because they have match day 28 off next week. This is their last game, New England. So they're going to have this as their last taste of the regular season, a bye week, and then their first playoff game. They don't want to end on a sour note before the week off. It's through for Cambridge, centering it, and it's put wide. Offside flag did come up as well. Marcos Diaz from Paniotu. Nice little chip from the midfielder. Paniotu, 18-year-old from Cambridge, Mass. Bulma, slip through for Diaz. Diaz squares it back. It's Miller. Paniotu. Smith lays it off for Diaz, tries his luck, and it didn't look like Odunze saw a clean look at that shot. Started to his left, had to work back to his right, and needed every bit of his 6'7" frame to keep that one out. An awkward one. Almost one that counted against his ledger. Scardina. Kaye shielding off Pareba. Well done by the defender. Terrific turn from Panayiotou. Wants it back now, and he gets it back. Panayiotou looking for Adebayo Smith. Jacob Williams got his foot on it. Dominating control of the ball so far, New England. 3 shots, 2 on target to show for it. Patrick Leal. Peyton Miller serves it up to Marcos Diaz. Didn't quite get through. Jack Neely got ahead to it. Bulma battling. Throw for Crown Legacy. Kaye. Amid the coaching changes they've had to endure, New England, Kaye says the identity has remained the same. Going on in the organization, has seen different coaches come through. The play remains the same, and so is the success. Diaz coming to his right. Miller back for Diaz. Adebayo Smith. Peyton Miller. Loaded for Colby Quinones and flicked along. A corner on the way for New England, their second of the match. Quinones delivery toward the near post. Didn't quite get through. Second effort here whipped in. Leal. There was nobody there. Leal beckoned over by Ligio Adeguin. Stern warning here, no card. João Pedro on loan this year in the First Division Brazilian club, Atlético Paranaense. Cambridge. Brandon Cambridge cuts it back, delivers it all the way across the box. Too much on it. Cambridge, a 21-year-old, a couple of years collegiately at Portland. He's whipped his way again. Quinones has it centrally, don't want to do that. Still loose now for Pareba. Almost capitalizing on the mental error of Colby Quinones. Kaye tried to do all he could to salvage the initial clearance effort back toward the middle by Quinones. Live to tell the tale, New England. Second shot of the match, only for Crown Legacy. Through for Adebayo Smith, flag stays down. Jordan Adebayo Smith cutting and shooting, saved by Odunze. Berchimas fouled by Suarez. Jordan Adebayo-Smith able to recover so well after the initial ball. Took him wider than he would have hoped. Able to create some space for a shot. Got in on Odunze quickly. Carried it aside. Not the best showing for Crown Legacy last time out, but a win that they were able to grit through. And a card is certainly coming here for Petkovic. Last week, Crown Legacy, they were up a man for the better part of 50 minutes at home against New York Red Bulls 2. They went down a goal after going up a man. Took until the 88th minute, and they finally tied. And after they tied it, won it in the shootout. Not their best day at the office. On the flip side, New England, similar result, 1-1 through 90, and a shootout win over Orlando City. Try from distance here, no trouble for Odunze. Panayiotou. Rains finally let up here in Matthews. Prior to conceding last game in the 1-1 finish through 90 against Orlando, they had to go all the way back to August 13th. They don't concede much, New England, but a chance here brewing for Berchimas. Lays it off, Pareba. Cambridge, overlap coming from Scardina. Here's Nick Scardina. Ricochets off the post, the header is saved by Weinstein. Nice slip ball through here from Cambridge to Scardina. Save was initially made by Weinstein, then it caromed off the post. Prior to conceding last game against Orlando, this New England team had not conceded in nearly 400 minutes. It was 397 minutes between concessions for New England. 0-0 game that they won in a shootout. Preceded a pair of 3-0 victories for the Revs. Shootout win over Toronto, 2 3-0 wins over Philly and Huntsville. They had been rolling. Sometimes you need a wake-up call. Back on August 9th, they had a 5-4 win over Orlando City B. They conceded 4 in that game. And then guess what? Ever since 4 in that game, they've only conceded twice in 5 games. Smith for the second time, winning the ball because of his pressure. Berchimas, it's on the speed, forces Souza to make the ball back to the goalkeeper Weinstein, and Charlotte will take it back from there. Cambridge. Quinones a great slide. That's one of the most fun aspects of playing on a wet day. Slide tackles could go 8 yards for you. Panayiotou fed through for Bolma. Adebayo Smith bending his run toward the back of the 6. Bolma for Panayiotou. Sweeping it away. João Pedro. After a brief break from the rain, pouring down again. As Panayiotou is set for the outswinger, delivers it, loose in the box and cleared. Mayaka. Here's Berchimaz. Nimpasha Berchimaz still with it now. Berchimaz, the 15-year-old, denied by Weinstein. Still looking for his first next pro goal. Here in his 7th appearance, 3rd start. At 15 years of age. Continues. Player down behind the play for New England. Diaz, overlap coming from Bolma. Here's Joshua Bolma. Tied by Pedro. Pareba. And Scardina. Pac-12 All-Conference first team last year, Scardina. 40th pick in the MLS draft. Now it's Cambridge, fronted by Quinones. Well done. Cambridge hustles to win it back. Scardina. Petkovic thought about it. Slides it through for Cambridge on the preferred left foot, blocked by Quinones. Trickling out for a corner. Short corner taken. Petkovic trying to get it back for João Pedro, and that was a mess from the start. Whipped in for Pareba. Look at the hustle from Adebayo Smith. Oh, you needed there was for the ball to be slipped through by Peyton Miller. Intercepted by Mayaka. Scardina. Free kick coming now for Crown Legacy. Remember, only yellow card so far belongs to Petkovic on the Crown Legacy side. Clean slate everywhere else. Only game in action right now. It's supposed to be a 5 p.m. kick, but as bad as the rain has been now, the weather forced it up to noon. Fortunately, just the wet stuff. Nothing electric that has caused any delays in this today. That's why it was pushed up a few hours. 4 p.m. Eastern, we'll have Philadelphia hosting Huntsville. And a full slate at 6 o'clock. That Huntsville-Philly game, massive. Coming up at 4 p.m. Philly at home with 36 points. They're 2 points back in the playoff line. Huntsville sits one spot in front of them, 1 point back in the playoff line. Scardina trying to find a way through. And both Philly and Huntsville, if they could sneak over the line, could be a first-round opponent for New England. Remember the pick-your-own-opponent format. So they'll have their choice, New England. See how it shakes out. Cincinnati, Columbus in the derby at 6 p.m. Minnesota, Sporting Kansas City. St. Louis, LA Galaxy. Houston, North Texas. And the night ends at 7:30 when Atlanta hosts Inter Miami. Toronto, Cincy, Miami already eliminated in the second to last weekend of the season. Atlanta is still alive. They'll need to produce a positive result against Inter Miami later if they would like to stay alive. 5 points back of the playoff line. In the West, things are a bit more settled. It slipped through for Cambridge. Saved by Weinstein. Lulling New England to sleep with their possession, Crown Legacy. Finally, they found that alleyway through. Brilliant ball by Petkovic. Better save by Weinstein. Going to make matters worse. He came back off of Cambridge out for a goal kick. The West, as I mentioned, a lot more settled than the East. Teams from 9th through 14th are all eliminated already. Minnesota today taking on Sporting Kansas City. Level on 40 points with Houston. Houston on the tiebreaker is just above the playoff line. There's a battle at the line in the West. More teams still alive today in the East, but the picture will become all the more clear at the end of tonight. Going into next week's decision day. Weinstein gets it clear. Free kick for Crown Legacy. Cambridge. Scardina. Mayaka. Back for Scardina. And then Cambridge always looking to cut left. He has some space here, curling it, but wide. You know it's coming. Brilliant left foot. How many times have we already seen it today where he's tried to cut in and find that little lane to shoot through? Found it this time. Couldn't put it on target. Leal. Adebayo Smith as the rain gets harder to Leal, and it's blocked. Adebayo Smith shields it out for a corner. Served in from the corner, punched away by Odunze. Didn't think it could possibly rain any harder than it was when the game began, but Mother Nature proves us wrong here as we near the end of the first half, coming down as hard as possible. It's through again for Berchimas. Has some help centrally. Berchimas cutting, shooting, and scoring! What a way to get your first career goal! Nimfasha Berchimas, a name to remember, a name that's already here, and Crown Legacy has the lead. It seemed the play was dead right here with how wide he took it. Little step right there, beat Quinones, quick shot, and got it past Weinstein.
Scored by number 27, Nimfasha Berchimas.
The crown jewel of young players for Crown Legacy. And he gets his first. A special moment in the rain. And the rest of the New England players coming together now. Rallied the troops a little bit after that concession. The final regular season game, New England, they don't want to end on a sour note. Two. New England hoping to get it back here before this first half ends. They've had 4 shots on goal in this first half so far. And remember, New England still would like to win this game. Locked them in the 2 seed, yes, in the East, but a win would clinch the number 3 overall seed. Leal lets it fly. Leal. We'll learn soon stoppage time at the end of this first half. Bolma trying to get position on Scardina. Dunze calmly plays it along for Neely. Well done. And no stoppage time necessary. Get out of the rain as soon as possible. The only goal of the first half belongs to Pasha Berchimas in the 42nd minute, the first of his young and bright career at 15 years of age. It's 1-0 Crown Legacy going into the break at home over New England. And while the top seeds in both the West and East were clinched last week, and one team is unbeaten in 12 matches, it's time for us to take a look back. Michelle and Samara have more of this week's Rewind.
The playoff picture and its implications continue to take shape. I'm Michelle Montana alongside Samara Perez, bringing you everything from an action-packed match day 26.
The implications out west just got a bit more interesting. Following 20 weeks of straight dominance, Rapids 2 clinched the #1 conference seed. A 2-0 victory over Real Monarchs also has the Colorado squad claiming the Frontier Division title. With the top conference seed honor, Rapids 2 earns a first-round bye in playoffs and automatic qualification to the conference semifinals. A complete turnaround from last season, which Coach Boucher knows is a big surprise to many.
Nobody would have expected this to occur in year two, especially after year one, and as I've said earlier in the year, especially after the first 9 games of year one.
The other team atop their conference and clinching their division this weekend, Crown Legacy FC. Similar to Rapids 2, the Carolina club has led their conference almost the entire season. A big key to that success has been their starting goalkeeper, Isaac Walker. Following his team's shootout win over Red Bulls 2, the keeper shared how they've been able to lock down this top spot.
We find a way, and that's what we've done. We've had really good performances. We've had times where maybe we're never the best, but we find a way to grind it out and win. I think that's what makes a good team. We've stuck together. We go through ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we've been finding a way, and it's got us here so far.
Just behind Crown Legacy FC in the standings is Revs 2, who continue to find ways to remain unbeaten. Defender Victor Sosa headed in his first professional goal, which put his team ahead early in the game. But OCB's Jacqueline, of course, put things level with his 18th goal of the season. The New England squad won in a shootout to extend their undefeated run to 12 games, tying Rapids 2's all-time streak.
That Jacqueline goal briefly gave him the lead in the Golden Boot race, but New York City FC 2's MD Myers also scored on matchday 26, so the two are tied at the top with 18 goals total on the season. Behind them, Nick Firmino and Ibrahim Kasul each have 15 apiece, but to be fair, Kasul was away on international duty with Uganda.
We're officially 2 weekends out from finding out the final playoff spots and seedings. We'll see you back here next weekend with your Matchday 27 Rewind.
Everything coming fast and quick now toward the end of this season. That was the update on the weekend total, but now let's celebrate the best of Matchday 26 as Michelle shines the spotlight.
Matchday 26 saw another round of spectacular standouts, but also saw some first-time honorees recognized. Starting with the first ever representative from Chicago Fire 2, taking home the Rising Star of the Matchday Award, Dylan Borso. The highly anticipated professional debut for the 7-year academy product resulted in the 17-year-old scoring his first professional goal in the 58th minute to complete the comeback for his team, seal the win, and keep Fire 2's playoff hopes alive. The player of Matchday 26, well, he did the same thing for his team in this crowded Eastern Conference playoff picture. New York City FC 2's Ronald Aravalo helped lift his team to a dominating win over Crew 2. First, with a great heads-up play, he catches the keeper out and scores all the way from midfield. He would then score again minutes later to complete the first half brace and bring his season total to 5 goals. Not bad, considering he was a last-second addition to the lineup. And on the topic of impressive goals, our match day 26 best goal belongs to Sporting Kansas City 2's Lucas Rosa. Set piece from outside the box, Rosa able to curl it over the wall and into the top left corner for an incredible finish. And rounding out this week's impressive performances from teams fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, the one who did so in the most dramatic fashion, our team of the week, Atlanta United 2. Tied at 1 apiece in the 96th minute. Time running out, Kareem Tamimi finds Jackson Conway in the box, and he's able to head home the winner. Conway is mobbed by his teammates. The stoppage time goal secured their first road win of the season, while keeping them in the postseason race. Some truly incredible performances as the playoff push continues. Congratulations to all of our winners in the spotlight this week.
And as that playoff push, Michelle mentioned, continues, we have to remember that it was Columbus who took down the title last year. Michelle had a chance to sit down with the general manager of the defending champs, Columbus. Let's meet Corey Ray and revisit that magical run to the Cup last season.
Make sure to stick around after the match and head over to the Legacy Lawn in the southwest end of the...
MLS Next Pro fans, today we have a very special guest. We're talking to Crew 2's general manager, Corey Ray. Corey, thank you so much for fitting us into your very, very busy schedule.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. And obviously, thank you for all the coverage of the teams in the league. It means a lot to our staff and players. So thank you.
Oh, more than happy to do it. Now, for you operating in a league where there's so much fluidity, rosters change literally daily, what does a day in your life as a general manager look like?
Yeah, super easy. You know, no big concerns. Very smooth. But I think everybody's quite aware that the team operates in between, the academy and the first team, and with that, you operate with a lot of changes, as you mentioned. And so, I think the first thing is making sure you know who's in training and who's going to be ready for the week as you start to build out, the plan for the matches on the weekend. But most importantly, the first thing that happens for me is to come in and generally get out and check out training or chat with the staff before and just see what they have on tap in their ideal situation, and then be ready to react to anything along the way throughout the week, which as we know is very flexible, and I have to give a lot of credit to the staff to be able to manage that for sure.
Whatever you guys are doing seemed to work out pretty well for you, especially last year where everything was brand new. What do you think led to so much success there in your first year that ultimately resulted in winning a Cup championship?
Yeah, there's always luck, so we can't downplay that, but for sure we were prepared. We had a really good plan in terms of how we wanted to approach it. We had great buy-in from leadership, from ownership. We treated the team, with the respect it deserves from day one. And then the staff were tremendous. I think they really relished the opportunity to start something new. And I know they worked really, really hard to make sure everyone was as prepared as they could be week to week. And then at the end of the day, when you put that together with an amazing group of players, you have what we felt like was a really successful season on the field. And then on top of that, we have guys who have integrated really successfully in the first team. And that's the ultimate feather in the cap for the group, because that really shows that we're here helping as much as we can in every area. And I can't really give any more credit to those guys. They've earned it, but for sure it was great to see them produce and then move up to the first team and continue to do so now.
That leads directly into my next question. You guys have some big name guys who played a lot of minutes in MLS Next Pro and have made the jump to the first team. Jason Russell-Rowe, obviously, this season. Cole, what can you say about this pathway to pro and what you guys have been able to do to enable these guys to get to the first team?
Yeah, it starts with the training and the environment, and really it starts with the approach to ensure that everything is as professional as can be, and you try to lower the gap or remove the gap as much as you can between the two teams. Of course, training every day with Diego Rossi or Cucho or those guys is going to be a bit different. And we can't really produce that, although I've asked for those guys, every now and then to come play for Crew 2, but it's not happening. But for sure, for us, the training intensity, the professionalism of the planning, the sessions, and then the mentality when they go into games, and having a really good group of guys within the group, pros that have been there and done it at different levels, like Marco Micheletto and Abdi Mohammed. Those guys set the tone every day, and that helps elevate the group for sure.
And we touched on all of the successes. Coming off of a championship, what was your main focus heading into year 2?
The main focus was, again, how many guys can we push towards the first team? What does that look like? And how long will it take? And so last year we created a group that was really close in terms of being ready to the first team, and that was by design. And we've slowly started to integrate our really talented academy group into this batch of potential first teamers, and we've kind of merged the two where we have quite an old group in terms of guys who have been there and done it in different leagues, like I mentioned, and then super young guys getting their first sniff of professional minutes. And it's been the question, how do we integrate them successfully together, achieve the objectives for both of them together while they're at potentially different stages of their career. And so for us, that's been the big target. And again, big credit to the staff. They've been able to manage that, and we've produced some pretty good results along the way. But we're really proud of that integration of that next kind of group of young, exciting prospects. And I think they've seamlessly integrated into the group and are getting some really good results and a lot of recognition as well.
It's such an interesting position to be in. I do have a fun one for you.
Great.
What does it mean to you to go down in the MLS Next Pro history books as the first team to ever win the Cup?
And you can really start to sense it here at Lower.com Field. There is the final whistle. The Capybaras are champions. Columbus Crew 2, the first ever winners of MLS Next Pro.
Something that you can't take away. And so I've been very fortunate in terms of MLS Cups as well, being able to celebrate 2 of those with Columbus and Toronto. And it's what we tell the players, like, nobody can take that away from you. And we're really excited for the opportunity, not just to win and prove kind of the concept we had, but to be the first group to do it in such great fashion in every area. It's something we're all really proud of here at the club. But can't take it away from them. They'll have it forever. And for the young guys and the players looking to move on in their career, I told them that it's something that people look for when they're building teams, and that's winners. And so they all have that on their resume now, and that makes me sleep better at night, that these guys for sure have something that they can keep for the rest of their lives as a group, and that's special and that's hard to come by.
Well, we're excited to see if you guys can become the first group to go back to back.
Yeah, for sure. We'd be great with that as well. But it's been a challenging year. A lot of teams have watched and tried to replicate some of the things that we've done, and so we are excited about that opportunity to get into the playoffs. We're hopeful we can finish strong, but definitely we'll be ready. And I sure hope we don't get into the pick 'em phase that nobody's picking us, because we'll be ready for sure. So should be exciting.
Exciting, no doubt. Corey, it's not every day that we get to sit down with someone in the front office, so I can't thank you enough.
No, thank you. Thanks for the time. And again, like I said, thank you for everything you do to showcase the players. They're really excited about it, so I appreciate you doing that.
Of course, of course. That is Corey Ray, General Manager of Crew 2.
Anybody doubt Columbus's ability to try and shoot for more this year? Sitting in 4th place right now, but you know what they're capable of. They'll have a match later today at 6 p.m. against Cincinnati, and that would be quite the way to punctuate something here with a victory if you were Columbus. Take a look back now at highlights from our first half between New England and Crown Legacy. Most of the really good opportunities actually belonged to New England in that first half. They ended up with 4 shots on target. Odunze had to make some difficult saves. Leipzig had to make this difficult save on Cambridge midway through the half. Then the rain started to come down a bit harder, and Berchimas left his mark. The 15-year-old with his first career goal in MLS Next Pro dances past Quinones, slips it past Weinstein, and we're underway now in half number 2. It's Crown Legacy from right to left in the white. It's New England from left to right in the blue, trailing 1-0 in their final regular season game, and away we go. Well, the good thing so far is it seems like the radar was correct and the information we received was correct, where the rain was supposed to let up at the end of the first half. Not before we got one last just bucket dumped on us in the final few moments of half number 1. Some light now to the sky. See if the rain stays away in half number 2. Happy to have you with us on MLSNextPro.com. Joe Malfa with you for the action from Matthews Sportsplex in Matthews, North Carolina. Inside, it's Petkovic. Pareva, rather. About 400 minutes between concessions of goals for New England before they conceded last game against Orlando. They held pretty strong defensively in the first half before Berchimas did them in. Petkovic along for Berchimas, and he was offside. Marcos Diaz. Back for Pierre Caille. Bio Smith almost took it away from Petkovic, but he got a little stump in there at the end, and a yellow card because of it.
A yellow card has been shown to the Revolution's number 99.
Those two players there, Adebayo Smith and Nikola Petkovic. The two out there with yellow cards. Petkovic picked up his in the first half. Adebayo Smith right here, right now. João Pedro slipping it through. Yuri Tavares, 11 goals on the year for Tavares, and he earns a corner here. Corners in the first half for Crown Legacy weren't the best. Tried a couple times. Going short, didn't work out. See if they could get something more here. The all-important second goal. Driven toward the back post. Comes all the way through. Scardina. And then Cambridge, a good ball for Tavares. Couldn't quite handle it. They haven't found Tavares all that much this afternoon so far. Most of the attack has come through the wings, whether Cambridge on the right or Berchimas on the left. Tavares, the player, at any moment who can hurt you if you lose track of him. Leal just got it past Pareba. Quinones. Bulma. Now Leal. Completed his circuit. Started his academy career, Patrick Leal, with the Revs. Went on to Sporting Lisbon and then Venezia. Made his debut in Serie A with Venezia a year and a half ago now. And then just this August, signed again for New England. Short of Marcos Diaz, taken by Mayaka, who's quietly such a domineering presence in that number 6 role for Crown Legacy, manning the defensive midfield. 25th start of the season today for Mayaka. 3rd overall pick by the Colorado Rapids in the 2021 MLS draft out of Clemson. 2-time All-American at Clemson. Here with Crown Legacy. Jacob Williams floats it back post. Nobody there. In swinger from Pedro, whips it in. The rain starting to pick up again. Cambridge. Patrick Leal. The one foul and the yellow card to Scardina.
A yellow card has been shown to Crown Legacy's number 35, Nicholas Scardina, in the 53rd minute.
Blasted long by Souza, trying to spring Bulma, and he's taken down. He wanted a free kick there for that contact edge of the area. Making the claim that the ball was never played, only the body. A tight one. Berchimas. Wide again for Berchimas. Impasha Berchimas cutting in, leaves it for. Strike by Petkovic, carried wide by Weinstein. Flat-footed there, Petkovic. He tried to strike it. Ball set up a bit deep on his left foot. Another corner here. All the pressure has been against New England the first 10 minutes of this half, and that's not what you want when you're the ones chasing the goal. Crown Legacy knocking on the door for a second. João Pedro all the way across. Another corner coming. Eligio Arguin gets a word with Lille and Poreba. In swinger again. Come out to Mayaka. Souza. Suarez. Adebayo Smith off the chest. Turn in tight quarters by Panayiotou. Every time he touches the ball, you can see the quality he possesses, why he's already made 10 MLS appearances this season. And he's in the mix for the US U19s and U20s for upcoming tournaments. Here's Tavares. Plenty of space now for Yuri Tavares, the leading scorer of Crown Legacy. Chimas couldn't do much with that ball from Jacob Williams, the way it was played. Over a half an hour left now in the regular season for New England. Remember, they're off next week. Cambridge to his preferred left foot. Cambridge back to his right, drives it on the ground. Kaye blocks it. With this being their last regular season game, New England, you know, they would love to end on a high note. Last thing you want is to go into your essentially bye week, the way it shakes out. Well, the 1 seed is the only team that gets a bye in each conference, but a de facto bye week for the 2 seed New England. You don't want to go into it stewing from a loss, especially when you haven't lost a game in regulation since the middle of June. 12 straight matches for New England here in the run-in, in which they've picked up at least a point. 2 shootout losses, 4 shootout wins, and 6 regulation wins in that 12-match span. Panayiotou. Shot for a handball there from Crown Legacy, but they'll play the advantage. Peyton Miller. Lille. Suarez. Adebayo Smith looking for it. Almost came out the other side. Now it's Panayiotou. Miller. Panayiotou floats one, but nobody in the middle of the box there for New England. Everybody seemed to scatter once the ball was played. Some subs being ready now for New England. That'll be all for Jordan Adebayo-Smith. He gives way for
Substitutions for New England.
Noble Okello.
Replacing number 41, Colby Quinones, is number 89, Malcolm Fry.
Malcolm Fry in for Colby Quinones.
And replacing number 99, Jordan Adebayo-Smith, is number 65, Noble Okello.
Noble Okello coming in for Jordan Adebayo-Smith. It's big shoes to fill. Of course, Adebayo-Smith, the team leader, with a dozen goals. Okello just 1 goal in his 9 appearances, 5 starts this year. Some much needed fresh legs, perhaps, atop the line. Here's Malcolm Fry, again on for Quinones. Just moments ago, Fry for Panayiotou. Malcolm Fry earns a corner. And swinger, glancing header is just wide. It was last off of a Crown Legacy defender. And they finally make something off one of these set pieces, New England. As the rain comes to a stop again. Curled in toward Kaye. Best he could do is get his head to it and skim it along. Possession gap has closed mightily. About halfway through the first half, maybe closer to the half-hour mark. It was 60-40 in New England's favor. But in this second half alone, so much of the control has belonged to Crown Legacy. It's never really felt like New England's been able to get anything going. Despite their deficit and having to commit more forward, just 1 shot, none on target in this second half for New England. 2 shots on target already for the aggressors and the leaders in Crown Legacy. Crown Legacy will round out the regular season next week on the road against Toronto. And a free kick here for New England. They could pick up these 3 points. Crown Legacy, they might really like their chances at being the overall #1 seed. Toronto, one of the teams toward the bottom of the Eastern Conference. If you can pick up 3 there, you end your season on 66 points. It would be up to Colorado to also win their match to match that 66. Three v3 here, led by Cambridge. Great tackle put in to win that one back. Noble Okello tracking all the way back to help defensively. Berchimaz. Tavares back for Nimfasha Berchimaz. Jacob Williams. Mayaka. Now Williams. Led by Joshua Bolma, joined by Jack Panayiotou, has Diaz streaking over the top to the back post, but nobody making that trailing run. That's the best looking attack I think we've seen in this second half from New England. Free kick coming for Crown Legacy. And a yellow card for Peyton Miller.
A yellow card has been issued to New England's number 76, Peyton Miller, the 68th minute.
11 shots to 9, 7 on target to 4, 1 goal to 0. All those categories in the favor of Crown Legacy. Just over 20 minutes plus stoppage time remaining now. Happy to have you with us on MLSNextPro.com. Joe Malfa with you for the action from the Sportsplex at Matthews here in Matthews, North Carolina. On what has been a very wet and rainy day. Finally, that has subsided. Little Rabona pass through for Berchimas from Tavares. Doesn't yield anything but a throw-in. Tavares. Looking for Diaz, can't find him. It's a bit of a quiet day for Marcos Diaz. 8 goals, 2 assists on the season, has pivoted back up to the 9 now with Adamayo Smith to the bench. They haven't been able to find him in this position. Balma read that like a book, but couldn't quite handle the first touch. Reminder of what's at stake. Charlotte already locked into the 1 seed overall in the Eastern Conference. New England locked in the 2 seed overall. Crown Legacy with a win would tie Colorado for the overall 1 seed heading into the final match day next week. And New England with a win would clinch the number 3 overall seed, which would essentially mean that the only team they would face on the road in a potential MLS Next Pro final would be Colorado. They would host all of the other 6 teams possible from the West if they win this game here. Offside against Boma. Either way, though, for New England, have to be incredibly proud of what this side has done this year for Revs 2. They've had to deal with some turmoil from the higher-ups through the New England ranks that have led to some coaching changes. Clint P.A. was the head coach to begin the year, as he has been the last couple of years. A change to Marcelo Santos, and that has changed since. Through it all, they managed a second-place finish for a team that has had this goal of making a postseason and making noise in a postseason ever since their USL League One days. Couldn't quite get there or make the kind of noise they were hoping for. I finally believe, according to Pierre Caillet on the ball now, I had a chance to chat with him ahead of this game, they finally believe they have the mix of young talent plus experience necessary to take home a trophy in a league such as this. A sour note to end on, losing your regular season finale, ending a 12-match run in which you picked up at least a point in all 12. Going into a bye week, the last week of the regular season. See if they could salvage something. Malcolm Fry, little step over to his right, cuts it back. Malcolm Fry, where's the support? Here's Okello, and it's wide. Good run by Fry. Once he got past his defender there, just waiting for somebody to show for him. They don't have the variety of runs necessary. Boma was too late. Aniotu and Diaz were too early, took themselves out of the play essentially. Couple more changes coming now for New England.
Substitutions for New England in the 73rd minute. Replacing number 38, Patrick Leal, is number 13, Maciel.
Maciel comes
and
on.
Replacing number 76, Peyton Miller.
Takes the spot of Patrick
number
Leal.
52, Italo.
And Italo for Peyton Miller. Four changes made by New England, none yet by Crown Legacy. 11 who began the match still out there. Tavares, a nice turn. It slipped through for Cambridge. And then Cambridge, headed away by Kaye. Suarez up for Malcolm Fry, calling for it's Josh Boma. Fry had it blocked by Pedro. Maciel. Okello back for Maciel. So good on the ball, Maciel. Last couple of years, been with this organization, playing with the first team. It's clear when he's with the second team that He is a cut above the rest. Crown Legacy preparing its first two changes of the match. More on that in a moment. Kamani Smith for Berchimas. And Eric Pena-Boardman for Petkovic. See if those come here. And they will.
Substitutions for Crown Legacy in the 76th minute. Replacing number 60, Nikola Petkovic, is number 56, Eric Pena. And replacing number 27, Demfasha Berkimas, is number 72, Kamarni Smith.
Berchimas, a day to remember, his first goal for Crown Legacy, the 15-year-old. Here's Bolma. Floated toward Okello. Adunze has it. Under a quarter of an hour remains. New England, can they salvage something here, or will they end their regular season in defeat? Crown Legacy ends next week at Toronto. Almost given away to Diaz. Now it's Pedro. Oh, Pedro. Yuri Tavares. Free kick coming for New England. Legacy not happy with the call. A dozen minutes remaining. 1-0 lead for Crown Legacy, holding up courtesy of the goal scored by Nimfasha Berchimas. Came all the way back in the 42nd minute. Did so well to get past Colby Quinones through the rain. Latched onto it, beat his man, and put it past Weinstein. First career goal for Berchimas. New England preparing its final change of the match. Trying to spark something here, lead to an equalizer. Oliver Escobar is being ready, told it'll be for Marcos Diaz. Here's Diaz. Marcos Diaz able to slip it through for Fry. I thought he was fouled. here comes that
And
last
substitution
change
for New
England.
In the 80th minute, replacing number 39, Marcos Diaz, is number 19, Olger Escobar.
Well, there Escobar comes on to make his 13th appearance of the season. That's just one assist. Tavares has some blood on the shirt for Crown Legacy. He'll have to change quick. Keep this in mind when you consider stoppage time. Sent long by Jack Neely. That back line of Crown Legacy has had next to nothing to do in this second half. No shots on target in half number 2 from New England, despite having to chase this deficit. Still playing down a man right now with Tavares off to the side, cleaning up the blood. Malcolm Fry. Okello. Nothing working right now in the attacking half for New England. Trying to force things in just like that. They've gotten away from their identity, which is really strong in the build-up play. Connectivity of the attack. Short, quick passes through the lines. Got away from it as they tried chasing this goal. For a young team in a league like this, keeping your patience, staying true to your identity, some of the most difficult mental hurdles to overcome. It's part of maturing into the game and maturing to being professionals. They've lost some of that patience, but this one over the top nearly finds Olger Escobar. We're back at 11v11, by the way. Tavares got the blood cleaned up, and he's back on. Tail end of that, Neely struggled to get up. Seems to be all right. Didn't need the trainer to come on so he can remain on. Telltale sign there, stretching out the calf of a cramp. Hope he's all right. Figure with stoppage time factored in. Got about 10 total minutes to play. My stoppage time number could come in around 4 minutes. Based on what we've seen so far. About 10 minutes of action here for New England to try and find the equalizer before they ride off into next week's off week. Off the final weekend of the season. So de facto bye for the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Tavares. They've been begging for a second goal to put this away. Maybe here it's Cambridge. And a goal kick. Crown Legacy have been pressing more for a second goal than New England has been for an equalizer. Saw 9 shots, 5 on target in the first half. For Crown Legacy, they have 2 shots, 2 on target in the second half. New England 7 shots, 4 on target in the first half. 3 shots, none on target, no real threats here in the second half for the Revs. Pareba. Kamarni Smith. Still Smith whips it in front, but behind Tavares, and Okello clears only as far as Jacob Williams. Williams saw the space, just flubbed the shot in the end, sliced through it all the way. Boma picks the pocket. Still Josh Boma, he's taken down edge of the area. It's a free kick just outside the 18, and a yellow for Jacob Williams.
A yellow card has been shown to Crown Legacy's number 56, Eric Pena.
Pardon me, Eric Pena is the one who picked up the yellow card. Four minutes to play plus stoppage time. Free kick in a good spot here for Panayiotou. With the left foot he possesses, if he's feeling confident, he can try and sneak this one near post past the two-man wall. It's an extreme angle. But for a left-footed player, it's a possibility here. Panayiotou to the back post, saved by Odunze. Now driven back in, blocked, headed away by Williams, falls for Escobar, chops it into the ground, and it's flicked away by Williams. Panayiotou, goal kick. Finally, something dangerous here for New England late in the half.
Crown Legacy in the 87th minute.
Really good ball in from Panayiotou. It might have gone in on its own at the back post, if not for Odunze's save, but he put it in a spot where one of his fellow attackers could have gotten ahead to it potentially.
Is number 48, Aaron John.
Aaron John into the match. This is Thiago Rodriguez da Costa. Yuri Tavares looking for Poreba. Boma. Goal kick. Boma, irate, thought he had earned a corner. Eligio Araguin saw it differently, was right on top of it. Marnie Smith almost came through with it. That was out for Suarez. Almost given away, now is given away. Thiago picks it up. Thiago squares it back, intercepted by Kaye. Panayiotou in the 90th minute. Threads it ahead. Chance for O'Hare. Escobar saved by Odunze, and he pounces on it. What a stop from the 20-year-old keeper. New England in the 90th minute did not miss an equalizer by much. 6'7" keeper dragged his back foot and looked to get a piece of it that way. 3 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of this one.
And the fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time. 3 minutes.
Whipped in from Panayotou, the header over the bar. Olair Escobar again with the chance. Over the last 60 seconds, Escobar twice narrowly missed equalizers. Two more minutes left in the regular season for New England. They're clinched as the 2 seed. It's through for Yuri Tavares. For the 1 seed Crown Legacy. Tavares, end line, tried to square it back for Camarnie Smith. Comes all the way out for Pareba. David Pareba deflected out for a corner. Again, there was nothing on the line in terms of the Eastern Conference pecking order. Crown Legacy clinched number 1 already. New England clinched number 2 already. A win for Crown Legacy ties them for first place overall, meaning they could have guaranteed home field throughout, including the final. For New England, a win would have put them in 3rd place overall and meant the only team they would not have hosted in a potential final would have been Colorado. But that possibility seems to be waning here for New England. Final minute of play. Nice move inside, center toward Camarnie Smith and cleared. Malcolm Fry turning. The thigh of Okello. Here's Suarez. To go now if you're New England. Sand slipping through the hourglass. Haven't lost in regulation, New England, since the middle of June. Corner coming. This will be it. Outswinger from Panayotou. Comes all the way out. Chested down by Fry. Now it's Kaye. Slipped inside. Maciel for Escobar. Ricochets off Escobar. Over the bar. And there's your final whistle. Crown Legacy, the top seed in the East, beats New England, the 2 seed in the East, in a potential Eastern Conference final preview here in the second to last week of the regular season. The goal came from Berchimas way back in the first half. 15-year-old in the 42nd minute with his first career goal, and he is your man of the match, brought to you by Adidas. It was pouring in the first half. He was begging for something to happen offensively, and finally, something did. Berchimas comes through. He beats Quinones. He puts it past Weinstein. And that 1-0 scoreline held up the rest of the way for Crown Legacy as they handed New England its first regulation loss since the middle of June. 3 months since New England tasted defeat in 90 minutes. A couple of times they lost in the shootout, but their first time in 12 matches, New England, where they did not pick up any points. And now Crown Legacy, with these 3 points, tied for the overall first place spot in MLS Next Pro. And that'll do it for us today. Our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew. I'm Joe Malfa. Once again, your final score, Crown Legacy 1, New England Revolution 0. And don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Plenty of action to come the rest of the day. Enjoy the action, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.